This is Pastor Byron from Life Point Church, Lexington, North Carolina. We are in the Advent season, waiting the promise of God, the birth of His Son. Reminded of Abraham and Sarah, waiting on God as God had promised to them an heir. They gave up hope. The length of time was so long between God making the promise and God answering for them. He did not answer the prayer in their time span, so they developed their own plans, created chaos in their lives, in the world. We often do that, don't we? We ask God, we receive His promise, we read in His Word, discover what we need to do, but it's not happening according to our schedule. It's not happening according to our timetable. We're impatient. We develop our own plan. We sometimes forget of the faithfulness of God, the promises of God that never fail, never departs, never tells an untruth. Bring your needs, your crisis situations to God, and then wait on Him to answer according to His timetable. Sometimes His answer is yes. Sometimes it's no. Sometimes it's waiting. Certainly there have been times in my life when I have prayed prayers, and I'm thankful. I wanted a yes, and God gave a no. And I'm thankful He did, looking back. He's always given me what I've needed, as He promised. Not always what I wanted, but always what I needed. When you're in the middle of difficult circumstances, you find yourself waiting on God to answer. It can be difficult to believe that perspective. What can we do when we find ourselves in such a season? Chuck Swindoll suggests two things. He says, first of all, we want to ask God for sustaining strength and wisdom while we wait. I know that sounds simple, but often we forget that we cannot do life on our own. We need God. We need the help of God, the strength of God every day of our lives. We need the patience of God to wait for His plan to come to pass in our lives. He's promised good things come to pass to those who wait on Him. The second thing, we can be more understanding of ourselves. Sometimes forgiving yourself is not easy. Forgiving yourself for failures, forgiving yourself for errors, forgiving yourself for developing a plan rather than waiting on God. Refusing to accept God's plan when His plan is not according to what you want His plan to be. When we find ourselves in those situations, we need to repent. Repent of our sin. Repent of our failures. Receive the forgiveness of God, which He's promised to give. But we also, once we've received the forgiveness of God, we need to forgive ourselves. One of the last ones on earth we sometimes forgive is ourselves. And yet, God forgives you, so why don't you forgive yourself? In a time you come to realize, as Abraham did, that in God's appointed plan, the best is ahead. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come for you. The best is yet to come for America. It's not over by any means. This will pass. Don't give up. The psalmist reminds us in Psalm 138, he says, are there any areas of your life where you've given up hope? Ask the Lord for His strength. Seek His perspective on the situation. The Lord will work out His plans for your life. The faithful love of God endures forever. God, how we thank You for Your promises. How we thank You for Your forgiveness. How we thank You for Your enduring love. I pray for those who are struggling. I pray for those who are waiting. Oh God, may we not give up hope because You're faithful and true.